Good morning, brothers and sisters. Warm greetings from our general house in Rome. And as you know, we are in this moment of preparation for our upcoming general chapters, brothers and sisters. And we would like to invite the whole congregation to go deeper in our spirituality, to listen to different calls from the Spirit to us today, and especially to our mission. And for that, we had been inspired by your replies that we got when you reflect on the main calls from the two main documents of our previous general chapter. And really, those replies were very inspiring for us, and we would like to share with you some of those thoughts that can inspire you and to go deeper and farther in our so rich spirituality. And first of all, we would like to invite you to be focused on, as our founders called our congregation, God's work. And in this optic, in this perspective, so the mission is God's mission, and at the same time is fully our mission as well. As the brothers from Brazil and Paraguay say to us, be aware that the mission belongs to the entire congregation and not only to few brothers. And may our charisma be the inspiration of the mission where we are. So beautifully said by the brothers. When we think of the congregation and our service as God's mission and our mission, so we are not confined in our chapels, countries, and regions, but we look to the entire world, the world as it is, our church as it is as well. And the men and women who are beside us are your brothers and your sisters, Lord, our brothers and our sisters. And I would like to propose you a very impressive confession of faith made by our founder in a letter written by him to the sister Gabriel de la Barre, just at the beginning of our congregation. Our founder says, "Yes, my dear daughter, I live only to cement, if necessary, at a great price, the work of the heart of this amiable master who fills me with his favors. If I am ungrateful, he still loves me, and I feel in my heart that he will love me always. Yes, always. I would be limitless if I were to write to you with all the forces of his grace on my soul, with the extent of his power in my depths. So love him without sharing, and I tell you that nothing will separate you from him. Whether we are persecuted or left to rest in peace, let us be children of the cross. May your feelings burn with longing for the immolation it demands or permits, and everything, yes, everything will be according to his will, which I feel and want to feel until death is always adorable." With this so beautiful confession of faith, I invite you to go farther and to reflect on our congregation and its mission as a God's work, as our work. The first point of our meditation is, where do you, Lord, count on us? It's the Apostolic Discernment. And we are doing that not only because we are fewer than in the past time, but because today there are new calls and new opportunities coming up from where we are and the world as it is. But for that, we need to do together, brothers and sisters, with the men and women who are fighting for more justice in our world and for peace. And especially, we need to listen to the poor people, the cries of the poor people, and the cry of our common house, our planet. And I would say, let us dare to wonder ourselves if in the way in which we are doing the things, something can be changed. As the brothers from Andina province invited us, if the type of pastoral work that we are doing maybe is not any longer responding to today's needs. Or as the brothers in America invited us to focus our meditation on mission in this specific spirit, to be evangelized by the people that we meet. They say this component of be evangelized is the challenge. Most of our experience in living our charisma and mission has been to evangelize with great passion and zeal. Through this effort, we reflect on the fact that at times we fail to recognize how we have been evangelized in return. Not much reflection on this point because we were too busy doing the evangelization. Yet, we have great comfort that we are doing what we have been called to do. Now that we are smaller in number and our geographical expansion is wider, there is much more effort to reflect on how we are to continue the mission. This new reality forces us ever more so to discern, reflect, and make conscious decisions that focus on how we are to understand ourselves to be evangelized. And to discover what are the new mission in this apostolic discernment, we have to look together the new things that you, Lord, want to make emerge in what we are doing, or the new presences or the new borders where you are calling to go. The brothers from Andina province, thinking of a youth ministry, invited us to reflect on that. We cannot continue with a maintenance pastoral with regards to the world of youth. New proposals are needed to accompany them, to know the culture they share, their dreams, desires, worries, and conflicts. Offer the best of our charisma to young people to heal their wounds, repair and enable the transformation of their hearts, collaborating in their vocational discernment. Or as the brother from the Chilean Argentinian province invited us as well to discover what is missionary in the everyday of our ministry, in every day of our life, and what simply arrives, funerals, masses, wondering if God is not already there. And to do that, a key movement for all of us is to foster the teamwork in our way of doing this discernment, as the brothers of the U.S. province invite us. The second point on our meditation is also one of the strongest points coming from your replies, is care for our inner self. And it means care for our personal relationship to the Lord. The brother from Africa said to us, everything starts from within. The desire to follow Christ, to love Him more, the desire to give up, the desire to embrace the path of salvation, and the desire to turn back. It's a matter of deep urgency to take care of our inner self. Another dimension of this call is cultivate a contemplative attitude in our daily life. The brother from England, Ireland, said to us, our motto of contemplating, living, and proclaiming the love of God. They wonder, how is this part of the everyday lives of our sisters and brothers in the congregation and in ministry? It is just an aspiration. Faith needs to be lived. There is an impoverishment when we lose the gift of seeing and living contemplatively. Those members who have a daily contemplative practice are indeed blessed. Or, as our brother from France said to us, cultivating our inner life gives us a theological outlook on our world. And to do that, we are not alone. We can count on our communities as a strong support to take care of our inner self. The brothers from Germany, they said clearly, it is necessary to find again communitarian forms to encourage and strengthen one another in the simple effort to believe. Possibilities for that are adoration, community Eucharist, personal and communitarian way of reading God's Word. And it seems there is no other way to renew the life of faith than an attentive listening to the Word of God. To care for our inner life, we are not alone. We can count on the brothers and sisters of our communities. And we can be inspired not only by those who have been recognized by the church as saints or blessed, but also for so many men and women who day after day they have been molded by the Lord, even in their struggles and failures. Our brothers from Flanders, they invited us with a very interesting suggestion, saying, the articles in the info are almost always on positive topics, mainly success stories. Some would also like to know about problems, difficulties, stumbling blocks, and failures in the wider context of the congregation. Concrete figure we can learn from them, or concrete figures who have played a decisive role in our vocation and who are not necessarily the saints of the congregation. The second point of our meditation is community of brothers. This is another point coming up from your replies. And there is a strong desire all throughout the congregation that our local communities might be place where we can support one each other and where we learn to care for our inner self. The brothers from Germany invited us in a very strong way to do that. They say, it seems that also today, at least from the perspective of the cultural world, the Western world, the biggest challenge is simply to believe. It is about clinging to God, not letting go, and that in a darkness in which we are immersed, both in the global and local human society, wars, hunger, climate change, migration, or in the church, abuse scandals, lack of credibility, polarization, or even in the congregation, lack of vocation or aging process in many provinces. It is simply to live an unadorned faith, simply believing in God's love even in the presence of the evil in the world and also in ourselves. We invite every community to celebrate the brothers, their faith, to dare to share from what we are, from what we believe, not being afraid of show ourselves vulnerable persons. Communities where we welcome each other of the brothers in who we are, look at each other with kindness and learning every day to correct each other. Communities where not only we recognize the capacities and the skills of each brother, but also we encourage them to express themselves and to have their space for their well-being and for the sake of the mission. Communities finally open their doors to the young people so they might discover our life by our side, and where the poor may feel in our communities at home. The brothers from France, they invited indeed to do that and to rediscover a quality of listening and take the time to enter in a dialogue, especially with the poorest people and with those who are suffering. A final invitation, brothers and sisters. Let us make ours the words that the good mother wrote to our good father, and in which we can recognize the complicity and the confidence that they had among themselves. And they are wonderful words for us for this time of retreat. Good mother says to good father, "The good Lord has given you the precious gift of His habitual presence." It means by talking, walking, or doing something else, without thinking, you think about God. Finally, He is more in you than you are yourself, if we can say like that. And to respond to this particular grace, it would be better if you went several times during the day, even if only for a moment, into the depths of your heart to adore Him, because it is there that He stays and enjoys Himself. So let us turn to the hearts of Jesus and Mary and ask them to discover once again the depths of God's love for us and for the humankind, and to welcome their calls to go to meet our brothers and sisters in humanity and to take care for them, and also to look after for our planet, our common house, in His name, because we are sent by Him to love in God's love.